Genesis 11:1-2 The Tower of Babel. 11:1 Now the whole world had one language and a common speech too. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. You will see why this is important. National organized Freemasonry began in 1717 with the founding of the Grand Lodge, an association of Masonic lodges. From Wikipedia, Freemasonry evolved from the medieval guilds of stonemasons and cathedral builders. The fraternity adopted practices and symbols from these guilds, including secret words, signs, and the use of building analogies to foster personal development and community building. The origin of stonemasonry dates back to early civilizations, thousands of years before Christ. When humans began using fire to create plasters, mortars, and quicklime, enabling them to build with stone, straw, and mud, it marked the beginning of masonry and the development of skills in shaping and arranging stone for various structures. Over time, stonemasonry evolved, with ancient civilizations like the Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans creating iconic structures like the pyramids, temples, and the Colosseum. From MasonicsHop.com. About 140 years after the deluge, which tower, scripture informs us, was destroyed by a special interposition of the Almighty, the Noachite Freemasons date the commencement of their order from this destruction, and much traditionary information on this subject is preserved in the degree of Patriarch Noachite. At Babel, Oliver says that what has been called spurious Freemasonry took its origin. That is to say, the people there abandoned the worship of the truck god, and by their dispersion lost all knowledge of his existence, and of the principles of truth upon which Freemasonry is founded. Hence it is that the old instructions speak of the lofty Tower of Babel as the place where language was confounded and Freemasonry lost. This is the theory first advanced by Anderson in his Constitution, and subsequently developed more extensively by Dr. Oliver in all his works, but especially in his landmarks. As history, the doctrine is of no value, for it wants the clement of authenticity, but in a symbolic point of view it is highly suggestive. If the Tower of Babel represents the profane world of ignorance and darkness, and the threshing floor of Oman the Jebusite is the symbol of Freemasonry, this was the prototype of the spiritual temple which Freemasons erected, then was readily understandable in how Freemasonry and the true use of language is lost. Remember, according to the book of Genesis, the whole world had one language and a common speech. Genesis 11:4-9 They said, "Let us build ourselves a city, with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves, otherwise we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. The Lord said, "If as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other." So the Lord scattered them from there over all the earth, and they stopped building the city. That is why it was called Babel. There the Lord confused the language of the whole world. From there the Lord scattered them over the face of the whole earth. Modern masonry construction involves using bricks and mortar, or slime, as it's sometimes called, to build structures. Mortar is a paste used to bind bricks and other masonry units together, filling the gaps and creating a solid, durable wall. Modern mortar is often made with a mixture of sand, cement, and lime. Genesis 11:3. They said to each other, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone, and tar for mortar. A little bonus piece of history for you: the Tower of Babel architectural design of the European Union, the EU according to Wikipedia, refers to the idea that the EU is a complex, multi-lingual institution with numerous languages and perspectives, potentially hindering communication and unity. This concept highlights the challenge of maintaining coherence and clarity in a diverse environment. The United Nations, the UN, is the most popular example of a model for a one-world system of governance. They are an international secular organization that was established on October 24, 1945 and is currently made up of 193 member states. The UN and its work are guided by the purposes and principles contained in its founding charter. The primary purpose of the UN Universal Agreements, particularly the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, is to establish a common standard of achievement for all nations and individuals, promoting respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. The UDHR serves as a foundation for international human rights law. In 2025, the World Government Summit will convene under the theme Shaping Future Governments. This summit will bring together governments, international organizations, thought leaders, and private sector leaders from around the globe to foster international cooperation and identify innovative solutions for future challenges, ultimately inspiring and empowering the next generation of governments. And, according to Wikipedia, European Union (EU) and the United Nations (UN) have a strong and evolving partnership based on shared values and goals, including promoting peace, security, and sustainable development. The EU contributes significantly to the UN's budget and peacekeeping operations, and it has a special observer status at the UN General Assembly, allowing it to participate in debates and present common positions. The architectural design and structure of the European Union is a clear statement to the God that intervened the first attempt at a world government.